Hello and welcome to your practice today. My name is Prudence and this class is designed to help you spin your baby. So if you've made your way here, you've probably been told by your doctor and your midwife that your baby's not in the best, most favorable position for birth. They might have even used the term breech, meaning baby's head is up and their little bottom is down. So in this class, we're going to focus on really softening around the pelvis, creating space along the side body so baby has room to move. And then we'll be finishing in those forward leaning inversions to really encourage baby to spin around for you. More than anything, I really hope this session is just a beautiful practice and a nice self-care moment for you, for mum, that will give you a bit of relief from the pelvis. Lifting the weight of baby off can really be so enjoyable, especially in your third trimester, creating some space for you to breathe, get your breath back, and just have a moment for you to connect with your baby, your body, and yourself. So before we begin, what you'll need is preferably a yoga mat so you don't slip, yeah? Yoga blocks are always fantastic, I think, in all practices, but especially our prenatal practice. So you just have support. You're not overstretching those ligaments in the lower back. You'll definitely need a pillow. So I've got a yoga bolster here, but really any thick, kind of dense pillow will work. Maybe even a pillow off your couch, and maybe a blanket too. In our prenatal practice, the more support we have, I think the better. So just surround yourself with things. I've got my armchair here that we'll use towards the end. You can use a couch, a bed, an armchair. We won't need it for the whole practice. So just have it in your mind that you might need to jump up and go to your bedside or your couch towards the end of the practice, but I'll let you know. There is also a playlist that I will link below that I've created for this practice on Spotify. So if you're someone that enjoys listening to music, like I am when I practice, that's available for you today. So let's begin. We're going to start in our hero's pose. So our hero's pose, we're going to need some support. I've got a blanket and a bolster. If you have sensitive knees, you're going to want more height than this. The more height you have, the less pressure there is on the knees, because I come forward, my knees are together, my feet are either side of the support, and I just sit back onto it. So it's a really beautiful prenatal seat, especially for our meditation practices, our breathing. The pelvis is really nice and contained. We're supported underneath the sitting bones. We can bring the weight of the chest back. And like I said, you can add more support, which takes more pressure off the knees. You could even be all the way up here with multiple pillows, and that's fine. So wherever you are, just maybe resting your hands on your laps, maybe resting your hands on your baby. If you're going to use that playlist, press play now. When you're ready, close the eyes and just come into your breath today. Don't try and change it or alter it. Just experience what's happening in your body today. Allow your body to soften. Allow yourself to come into your body. Notice how it feels, how you're feeling today. And making any little adjustments you need to now to make yourself just that little bit more comfortable. And once you've made those adjustments, just commit to a stillness. Just take the shoulders up and back, feeling the placement of your shoulder blades on the back body. Bring the weight of your chest back so you really feel the weight of your shoulders over your hips. And if you feel like you're popping baby forward, which is so easy to do, gently just bring the weight of baby back, like you're gently hugging your baby back into your spine, so the sitting bones are really nice and heavy here. Beginning to lengthen your breath, sending that down to your baby. Imagining it, you're just rocking your baby back and forth on your breath. A quote that I love sharing with my prenatal students is by Sarah Buckley, and it goes, We cannot birth our babies through sheer force of will. We have to learn the more subtle and the equally powerful path of surrender. Birthing and mothering are two things that really require and call for us to practice this quality of surrendering. No matter how much prep we put into our birth, how many parenting books that we read, we cannot truly plan and control what happens around us. What we can do is practice this softening, practice this letting go, and we put the effort in, and then we see where the pieces fall. We let go of that expectation, we let go of that control that we might be really comfortable with. And we begin to practice this surrendering, this softness, this opening to grace. So take a moment and set an intention for yourself today, for this moment, for this practice, knowing that this practice might help you spin your baby, but it might also just be a really nice moment for you. Both are good. A few more deep, long breaths here. And with every exhale, I want you to focus on softening the lower belly. Really allow the weight to move into the support beneath you and softening your pelvic floor. Usually in our prenatal classes, we focus a lot on lifting and strengthening the pelvic floor, which is fantastic work. But for today, we're just going to focus on really softening it. Focus on feeling a depth there. Relaxing, letting go. Thinking about that energy moving down. And with that, inhale, lift the arms up and over the head. Bring your right hand down, left arm up and over. And as you reach into the left fingertips, reach back into your left hip. So we're creating as much space between the underarm and the hip as we can. Bend your elbow, your top elbow. Peel your left elbow back, so we're lifting the heart up to the sky. Let the back of the head be heavy, so we feel the front of your throat open. Taking a deep breath in. And exhale, coming all the way back up. Again, think about a softness in the lower belly, a depth. Inhale, lift the arms up. Left hand down, right arm up and over. Reaching into the top fingertips, reach back down into the right hip. Breathing into that side body. Again, creating this space for you and creating this space for your baby. Bend the right elbow, peel the right elbow back. Spinning so the heart is up, bring the back of the head back. And coming all the way back up. Again, a softness in the belly. Inhale, lift the arms up. Good, and release your hands down. Inhale, coming up now. Blocks are to the top of the mat. Pillow and blanket is to the side. We'll use them again for sure. So just have them in arm's reach. Come to all fours. So hands are underneath your shoulders. Your knees are underneath your hips. Make sure your hands are wide. Yeah, so your pinky finger is touching the edge of your mat. Just so we're supporting the shoulders, which are our widest part of the body. So find a neutral spine first. Tailbone is reaching backwards. Crown of the head is reaching forward. Take a breath in. Long breath out. And begin to flow. Inhale, drop the belly. Reach the heart up, look up. Rolling the shoulder blades back as you lift the heart forward. Exhale, spine high. Pressing down into the hands. Reaching the spine to the ceiling. Let the chin come down. Back of the neck is long. Inhale. Drop the belly. Reach the heart up, look up. Exhale, spine high. Just really beginning to link in to the rhythm of your breath. One more just like this. Exhale, spine high. Now let your eyes close with the same rhythm of the breath, just moving any way that feels good for you today. So really asking your body how it feels today, maybe moving side to side, maybe circles with your hips. Not really worrying about what you look like, just focus on how it feels. What is your body calling for you today? You're just breathing, flowing with baby. 2 more deep full breaths here. Good. Come back to neutral spine. Walk your hands a little bit further forward. Keep spreading your fingers wide. Keep them really nice and wide. Tuck your toes. Push back. Downward facing dog. Let's bring the feet nice and wide as well. Cycling the legs out here. Just getting comfortable in your first downward dog. Breathing in and out. Again, that lower belly is nice and soft. The pelvic floor is nice and soft. Breathing deep down into your baby. And exhale long. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more deep breaths here. Breathing in. And exhale. 1 more. Bring your knees down, nice and wide. Toes to touch. Reach your hips back to the heels. Reach the arms forward. Now, if your belly is a little bit too big and that's not comfortable, you're just going to come up on your elbows and let the head just be heavy here. Knees are wide, breathing deep down into your baby. 3 more deep, full, long breaths here. And walking your hands back in. Bring the weight all the way back. Hands to your lower belly. So hands to your baby. Spine is nice and tall. Let the eyes close down. And again, just focus on this releasing, this softening. We're taking 5 deep breaths here. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Really releasing that pelvic floor for 2 more. Let the eyes open. Walk your hands forward again. Hands are nice and wide. Fingers are spreading wide. Tuck your toes. Push back downward dog for 5 deep breaths. So bring the feet as wide as you need to fit your baby. Bend your knees. Get the hips really nice and high. So you're pressing down to the hands. You're lifting up into the hips. And then begin to release your heels down. Remember, soft lower back, soft lower belly, soft pelvic floor. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Breathing in and out. Full breath, 2 more. And begin to walk your feet forwards to the top of the mat. Take as many steps as you need. You might just walk forward halfway. Bring the hands up to your knees and then step forward wherever you are, whichever way you come. Hands down onto the blocks. Soften your knees. Belly towards the thighs. Let your head be heavy. Take a deep full breath in. Long full breath out. 1 more inhale. And exhale. Bend the knees deeper. Reach the hips back. Look forward, flat back. Exhale, fold. 2 more just like this, moving like a wave. Look forward, flat back. Exhale, fold. 1 more, look forward. And exhale, fold. Press down through your feet, hands to your hips. Lift the chest all the way up. And standing up really nice and slowly, just moving the hips side to side, allowing any dizziness just to soften. Step your feet a little bit closer together, so hip distance apart, but again, if you've got a really big belly and it feels a bit comfier to be a bit wider, that's fine. Just make sure they're tracking parallel. Let's have a little softness in the knees, engaging the thigh, a little softness in the belly, but we still allow the tailbone to be long. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, fold forward, bend the knees, hips come back, hands come down. Look forward, flat back. Exhale, release. Step your right foot back, low lunge. Bring your blocks with you to the inside of your left foot. Bend deep into your left knee. Reach your right heel back. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Lower your right knee down. Swing your left knee back. Pop your blocks down. Hands nice and wide. Tuck your toes. Push back. Downward facing dog. Bend the knees. Get your hips nice and high. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Lower your knees down. Hips stay above your knees. Walk your hands forwards. Top corners of the mat. Lift the heart up. Exhale, melt the heart down. Again, bring the knees wider if you need a fit baby. Hips are lifted. Heart is melting down. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Press into the palms of the hands so the arms are switched on. 1 more deep breath here. Inhale, coming up. Walk your hands back. Tuck your toes. Push back, downward facing dog. Get your hips nice and high. Press down into the hands. Make sure your downward dog is long enough. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Bend your knees. Take as many steps as you need to come forward to the top of the mat. That might mean, again, coming up halfway, stepping forward, that's fine. Finding your Uttanasana, your forward fold. Feet can be as wide as you need them to be, tracking parallel. Bend the knees, look forward, flat back. Exhale, release. Hands to the hips, press down into your feet. Inhale, coming all the way up. Finding your tall stance, just swinging the hips side to side. Finding your breath. Come back to the center. Inhale, lift the arms up. Bend the knees, hips come back, hands come down. Look forward, flat back. Exhale, release. Step your left foot back, low lunge. Hands to the inside of your right foot. Bend deep into your right knee. Reach back into your left heel. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Lower your left knee down. Swing your right knee back. Blocks forward, hands down. Lift up, downward facing dog. Pressing down into every inch of your hand. Bend the knees, get the hips nice and high. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Lower your knees. Hips remain above the knees. Walk the hands forward to the top corners of your mat. Inhale, lift the heart up. Exhale, melt the heart down. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale, coming all the way up. Walk your hands in. Tuck your toes. Again, lift up, downward facing dog. And we're going to walk straight in to the top of the mat, Uttanasana. Grabbing your blocks. Feet are parallel. Let's actually bring the feet as wide as the mat here. Bend the knees, grab each opposite elbow, and just sway side to side. Nod the head yes. Shake the head no. Allow the shoulders to move down to the floor. Let everything just hanging like a rag doll. And release the arms. This time roll all the way up. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Big shoulder roll up and back when you get to the top. And again, up and back. Allowing any dizziness just to soften. And then hands to the hips. Stepping your feet in. So pick up your blocks. Facing the side of your mat. Step 1 foot back. Wide-legged forward fold. So before we start, just bring your hands to your hips. Check that your feet, it's like your toes are very slightly turning in. So the blade of your edge of your foot is in line with the short edge of your mat. Hands to your hips. Take the shoulders up. Take the shoulders back. Lift the heart up. And exhale, begin to fold forward. So the hips come back, the heart comes down. So all depends on how open you are in the legs. You might be having your hands on blocks and just staying here, and that's fine. If you can, it is good to be able to come and bring the chest below the hips. So we're adding a little inversion here. You might even bring the blocks down. Perhaps you don't even need blocks here and you can just rest down. It doesn't matter if your head's touching the floor. What matters is that you're feeling comfortable here. So you can bring the feet a bit wider, a bit further in. Bring the chest as low as it can go without overly straining. We're just going to cycle the legs here a little bit. Get comfortable. Get the hips in a good spot. Feel the inner thigh open. And when you're ready, finding a center, finding your breath, and holding here. Focus on just breathing deep. Relaxing the head and your shoulders. Pelvic floor is soft. Hold and breathe. Bending the knees. Bring the hands back up. Heel toeing your feet together. And again, grab each opposite elbow, just sway side to side. Release your hands down. Going to bend the knees now and come all the way down to the floor. Taking your time, of course. So, pop your blocks back to the top of the mat. Knees are nice and wide. You're going to grab your pillow, your bolster, bring it in. So we bring the bolster in our prenatal classes a little bit further away from us. So we're going to come down onto it, but of course we need space for our belly. So it always takes a little wiggling and just finding what's right for you. So bringing it in as much as you need to. Resting the head to one side. And taking deep, long breaths here. And inhale, coming up. And just changing the head to the other side. Inhale, coming all the way up. Walk your hands back in. Again, sitting back on your heels, resting your hands to your lower belly, and taking 5 deep breaths in. Just remember, softening, releasing, letting go. Just sending that breath down to your baby with every exhale gets softer. Maybe even feeling the belly get a bit broader. Letting the eyes open. Big shoulder roll up and back. And big shoulder roll up and back. So now you'll need your couch or your bed or your armchair. So coming up, again, just using the help of your hands to come up, keeping your back nice and safe. So I'm going to pull my chair in here, sitting back so the knees are on your chair. Now, the whole point is that we're going to come forward here and the hips are going to be as high as we can get them. So we're essentially going upside down while leaning forward to really give baby a little shove, gentle little push to spin around. So the chair that I'm on could potentially be a bit short, but it will do. If you also have something short and when you come down you feel like that you could bring your hips higher, just adding support underneath your knees, but of course just making sure that you're safe, that it's really steady. If you're feeling a bit nervous, maybe even get a friend or a partner to help you come into this. So I'll show you. So the knees are nice and wide, so of course we've got room for our baby to come forward. Hands are coming down. Move the blocks out of the way here. And we can just pause here. If you're not used to coming down and not used to doing inversions, just pause, take a few breaths, feel that your knees are steady, your hands are steady, and when you're ready, you could stay here if this is more than enough for you. If you can, bringing the forearms down, interlacing your fingers together, press the palms of the hands down. It's going to help engage part of your shoulder and let the head be heavy. And if you can, bring the elbows a little bit further in so the hips are really high. We're trying to get the hips as much over the shoulders as possible, but of course staying safe at the same time. So as you come down here, we're going to hold this for 10 seconds, breathing really nice and deep. And inhale, pressing down to the hands, come up. Walk your hands back in, bringing your seat back, coming up onto your chair. And breathing, resting in the hands to the lower belly, and again, encouraging that softness, that depth. Going back to your full deep breath and really just feeling the effect of the inversion on your body. Good, and opening the eyes. We've got to come down again and hold it for a little bit longer. So if how long we held it in our first round was more than enough for you, you just come out of this whenever feels good. Ideally, we want to kind of be holding it for up to 30 seconds. So if you're doing this by yourself at home, do it before bed, whatever it is, try and come down and try and count to 30. If it's too much, you just take it at your own speed. Yeah, so coming down. Again, let's just pause, make sure our knees are feeling like they're in a good spot. Our hips are nice and high, our shoulders feel good. And then when you're ready, forearms are down. You can just let the head be heavy like we did in that ragdoll pose. And this time we're going to hold it for 30 seconds. Breathe deep and long. With every breath, think about releasing that pelvic floor, releasing all the belly muscles. And pressing the hands down to come all the way up. Walk your hands in. Come back to sit onto your chair. Again, just resting the hands on your lap or around your baby. Come back to your breath and allow the inversion just to soften. Good, and we're going to come off the chair now. So being really careful, always, both feet onto the floor, coming all the way up. Come back to your mat, wherever you are, and make your way down to your all fours again. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Find your neutral spine, find your breath. Again, soften the pelvic floor, soften baby, without letting the spine go. We're just softening the muscles and everything around our baby. And then again, let the eyes close. Notice how your body feels and move into that. Lean into that with the long, deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Breathing in and out. Taking any slow, long movements, circular movements that feel good for you today. Two more deep, long, full breaths here. Good. Come back to your neutral spine. Walk your hands back in. So we're going to do one more of those inversion-like poses before our Shavasana, our resting pose. So this is a supported bridge. I'll show you how we do it, obviously. So I've got my bolster and I've got a blanket. Yeah. So if you were to Google supported bridge pose, you'd see a lot of pictures of people doing this on a block. You can do it on a block and maybe even two blocks together. I think it's nicer to do with softer stuff when you're pregnant because you're already a little bit sensitive, and we'll be sitting here, we'll be on this for about 4 minutes. It's a restorative pose. So the point of our restorative poses is that we are super comfortable. We're super supportive. They're not meant to be feeling a deep stretch, a deep release. It's not what it's about. I just want you to get your hips up again. So it's one of those opportunities that really encourages baby to move around. Because we are on our back, as mum, you have to really notice how you're feeling. At any point you're feeling lightheaded, you're feeling heart palpitations, you're just not feeling right. That means that this isn't right for you, and that's fine. And you just come out of it and lie on your side. And that is perfectly okay. Really just watching how you feel. You can bring this as high as you can physically get it, high as your back can take it. Or maybe you start much lower if you've got a sensitive back at the moment, which is really common in pregnancy. So I've got my support. I'm going to sit on top of it. I'm going to sit on the edge. Yeah. So we really want this when we lie back. The support is hitting not really the lower back, it's actually below the lower back. So it's much more behind the pelvis. And I'll show you. So I come back, walk myself back. Taking your time, really lowering down, being mindful of yourself, of baby. If you've got your hair up, take it out so that your head is completely flat and relaxed to the floor, keeping your knees bent for now. So you can see that this is the center of the weight is really behind the hip point, yeah? And it should feel good. If it's uncomfortable, first pause and just try adjusting this. Try making this lower, try moving it down, wiggle yourself around. And of course, the high, we've got this, so if I were to even have more height, that'd be even better because it gets baby lifted. But what's more important is that you're taking care of your body and this is comfortable for you. So we'll start with the knees bent. If you're feeling great here, you can extend the legs long. That can be a bit much on people's lower back, especially during pregnancy. So again, you feel that out for yourself. With enough talking, more relaxing, resting their hands wherever just feels natural for you today. Let your eyes close. And again, just come back into that breath. All you have to focus when you're here is breathing, feeling that release around the pelvis, that softness in the belly. Maybe come back into your intention for today and just enjoy this. If your legs are out long, you're going to walk them back in. You're going to ground the feet down into the floor. Gently engage your glutes a little bit to support your lower back. You lift your hips up and then you move the support out to the side. Bringing the lower back down to the floor and just moving the knees side to side. Again, just feeling how your body is today. And when you're ready, feet together, both knees to one side. With the help of your hands, come all the way up. We're going to finish with our Shavasana, of course. The best pose of the class. So our prenatal Shavasana is really similar how you're probably sleeping in bed at the moment. Pillow or blanket for underneath your head, something for between your knees. So coming all the way down, resting your head onto whatever's beneath it. Resting your top hand to your belly. If you've got quite a big belly, it is also nice to put something, a rolled up blanket or towel, underneath the bottom side of your belly. It's just going to make it feel more supported, not like you're hanging there. So again, just finding your spot, focusing on your breath. And as we lie and relax here, I invite you to go through and think of a birth scenario. So you've probably already thought of how you want your birth to play out, how you would like it to play out. We know that we can't really plan how it's going to go. So I encourage you today, as you're resting here and just breathing deep, think of a scenario that you hadn't really considered yet. Maybe a scenario that you probably, you'd prefer to avoid. And just play through what that might look like for you. And as you're relaxing here deep now, I want you to breathe and soften and open your body physically with the breath now how you would then. So we're beginning to practice our reactions to scenarios and situations that come up and might come up on that big birthday that is out of your control. And we're practicing this quality of surrender, of softening, of a calm grace, knowing that our baby will feel that way too. Breathe deep. And beginning to deepen your breath here. Maybe reaching that top arm up and over the head. Pressing down through your hands to come all the way up. Finding a comfortable tall seat. Whichever seat feels good for you today. Bring one hand onto your baby, one hand onto the heart. Just taking a moment to acknowledge your time, your space, and your body today. Come back to any intention that you had for your practice. Bring hands together, prayer at the heart, gently bow your head. There are many different ways we can birth our baby. And every way has the potential and the ability to be a positive and an embodied experience. Each way that we can birth our babies is inherently feminine, amazing, and special. All birth is worthy. Allowing this practice just to remind us of this quality of surrender. What would happen if we just let go of our expectations a little bit? If we became flexible and fluid and able to change plan with holding this steady, calm center. What an amazing offering we can give our children as we move through birth and into motherhood. Just holding that in your mind's eye. And namaste. Thank you all for joining me today for your practice. I hope your body feels good and open. For more postnatal, all different types of classes, check out my channel. Please subscribe. And for more yoga playlists and anything kind of yoga related with Prudence Yoga, check out my Spotify, my Instagram, which is linked below. So thank you again, and namaste.